First, we're going to talk about the good stuff, then we're going to talk about the tough stuff. I am so excited that you tuned in tonight. Thank you very much. My state of mind. You know, you might have noticed if you're a regular viewer, and thank you so much for being one. If you are, that number seems to be growing by leaps and bounds, and I really do appreciate that. The last 6 nights or so, we have had highlight programs, repeat programs, just because we took a little production break here. You know, we're allowed to do that. I used to get emails from people who say, I can't believe you took a day off. Everybody needs one. But we are back. We are originating a show for this particular date, which is October 13th, the day after Indigenous Day in Columbus Day in Rhode Island. I did that for Steve. I had a good pre-show tonight. I really did. We're going to forego the rundown this evening, though, because my friend Karl Wadensten is here. He is the only guy to say no to the 38 Studios project back when he was on the Economic Development Corporation, and we've talked about that at length here on his, I think a small handful of visits that he's had previously. But Karl is, I admire Karl in a lot of ways because he is bullish on the state despite the obvious challenges, and he keeps cheerleading and involving himself in projects that are more than just cheerleading. So what we're going to do tonight is we're going to take a look at the positive stuff that's happening and a couple of projects that he's championing, both for the state and for the governor specifically. And then we're going to talk about what he has seen in the 38 Studios mess as all this new information comes with the litigation and the deposition information that has become so news cycled. You know, he participated in those depositions, and he's seen, I think, a lot of things that he went, what about? So that's what we'll do tonight. Item number 1 will be this. Yeah, Karl's saying that you ought to participate in this thing. It's a Leadership Rhode Island initiative on October 24th, and then we're going to talk about this, and there's no chance that you're going to be able to read that off the screen unless you got like a 72-incher, but you can go to this website, governor.ri.gov/initiative/lean. We'll put this up about 12 times, so you'll be able to go grab a pencil and a note. And so with all of that, with unlit cigar on the table, you know, I might start doing that. I also might try to get your hair cut.
This is what
you stick your finger in a socket before you came on here today? No, it's a brand new look for you.
Thank God.
I only say that for your wife because I know that she told you to get a haircut. Look at me. I've been going with it. You know, those of us who don't have much anymore, we just keep trying to grow it. How are you, my friend?
Good.
So let's talk about something. Obviously, we have some interesting things to say about 38 Studios, we meaning you. But if we get started on that, we may never get to the stuff that I know would be productive conversation. So please stay with us. We have critical conversation coming, but let's have some productive conversation here. That first thing I put up was that Leadership Rhode Island event on October 24th, which, by the way, originally had an RSVP of yesterday. But I think there are still some seats at this thing. This is a collaborative effort by the Leadership Rhode Island team that you think is, by the way, can I just opine?
This is free, too.
If Leadership Rhode Island is trying to generate some activity, why don't they come on Dan York's State of Mind where the audience is all about what's happening in the state? Just make a note of that. What's the guy's name?
Mike Ritz.
Mike Ritz. Smart guy. I spoke in front of his group one day.
Very smart
guy. I like the leadership stuff. So that event's going to do what, and why should people try to attend it?
So this event with the Leadership RI group is trying to get the collaborative strengths of all our communities in the state of Rhode Island. So they've gone to the 36, 39 cities and towns to figure out what's working really well in those cities and towns. And more than that, Dan, they're getting down to the DNA of what does it take to make good things happen? Because there are great things happening here, and you say that I'm a cheerleader. If I'm not a cheerleader, I'd be the worst cynic and skeptic and naysayer for the state, but I live here, I work here, I love seeing you and all the people around here, so I have to be positive. There are good things are happening, and tip the scale a little. So if you come to this event, one thing that we have coming is the president of Gallup, and Gallup is the Galloping Poll, the Washington, D.C. think tank. We have Jim Clifton coming up to address us. And strengths is about, when you toured our company, you saw this. Strengths is about getting the DNA of people so we understand their top 5 strengths. You like golf, right?
Yes, sir.
You like sports.
Yes, sir.
So there's only certain things that you can do with golf sports to change somebody. So work on their strengths. Work on the things that they're really strong with, and then either team them up in sports and football, team them up with somebody that has complementary strengths, right? Well, you can do that in the workplace. So you're going to learn your top 5 strengths. You're going to learn how to collaborate. You're going to learn how to get the best out of people. And we're going to have a hands-on workshop. Already there are 800 people signed up. 800. When's the last time you've seen anything in Rhode Island that 800 people have signed up? It's free, but 800 people on a Saturday. So I'm all about it.
And then they're having a party afterwards, I guess.
It's going to be a great party afterwards. There's going to be a lot of interactive things there. You're going to have a lot of public sector people there. They were invited. The whole public sector was invited. There are going to be a lot of private sector people. And they're going to have a breakout towards the end that you're going to break out into communities. And the communities are going to kind of have to report out on what they think their collaborative strengths are and how they're going to go back and change their communities. So people are going to be put to task to do something here.
Okay.
You look kind of.
You know what? We all go through biorhythmic wavelengths with. Right now, I have to be honest with you and the audience. I'm like, show me.
Yeah.
Yeah, but listen, I'm glad people are rubbing sticks together. I'm glad they're talking. I'm glad all of that. Okay. So
the organizations, private sector that works hard on this, on the strengths, understanding their people and putting it into some kind of usable construct every day, do unbelievable things for their people.
Here's the thing. Here's the truth. There's leadership being exerted and exemplified and executed in companies like yours and hundreds, maybe thousands of other organizations in this state. The state hasn't fallen into the ocean despite what I think is a tremendous void on the public leadership end. Even the new governor, who you're bullish on many ways, has left me wanting. But the truth is that there are success stories all over this state. And there are some municipal success stories. I mean, there's some town governments that are actually getting their act together, and we're going through a renaissance when it comes to fire districts, and we're going through some pain, and people are starting to see that we have to change things. So, in essence, I buy into note sharing and mutual motivation when it comes to the pockets of success that we do have here in the state, and so that's a good thing. The other thing that you're working on, which I think is fascinating, and this is right up your alley, is this. Put it, Steve. You can throw this thing up again. You don't have to do that. We put it up. Come on, man. It's a major league operation we have here. You think this is? What do you think? This is some Vibe video we're doing here? God Almighty! By the way, your hair does not look nearly as straight up as I thought. I peeked at you on the camera, so sorry about that comment. You actually look good today. What the hell is this, if I can ask the question? How's that for a professional
So if you remember back in the spring, the governor came and signed an executive order in our office, and it was the first time I spoke about this before. It was the first time in Rhode Island history that you'd ever had the governor, all the cabinet directors, all the union heads for those different departments in the state all together in one building to sign this initiative to reduce waste, get lean, like the private sector does, in our office. And it was the day that Lincoln Chafee announced that he was going to run for president, so you know who trumped the news on that one. And out of that came our Lean Steering Committee. And the Lean Steering Committee is Janet Coit, Abby Swinton, Brian Daniels, Andrew McCanna, Jonathan Womer, Mackie McCleary, Leslie Tato, Jackie Burchard, Robert Imbergo, myself, George Need, Neil Steinberg, right? So now we were tasked to say, okay, guys, you've said all this stuff. The governor said, you've said all this stuff. How do we put it into action? So he said, well, if we're going to follow the Toyota and what an organization would do outside of the public sector, we need a strategic plan, and the strategic plan is on one piece of paper. One piece of paper. So your viewers can go and look this up. We had the website there, and it's laid out in that we have a problem here in the state. Who's the executive sponsor? The governor put her name there.
I read the problem.
Yeah, the problem Rhode Island state government needs systems and processes in place to consistently deliver high-quality services in a cost-effective, efficient, reliable, predictable way to promote economic growth and thriving communities for the citizens and businesses.
Very nice.
It sounds like a lot of mumbo jumbo, but it is.
No, I don't think so.
It's what our problem is here. We're not consistent.
And we're not efficient.
We're way not efficient. We're way not efficient. And, you know, we have communities that are responsible to the state, or the state's responsible for the communities. We have the businesses, and we have the citizens within those communities. So we worked on this. The governor is the executive sponsor, meaning that Gina Raimondo takes ownership for this. And the project leaders are the cabinet directors. So here she's drawn a line in the sand for anybody to say, look, I believe in this lean initiative is good. Okay, project cabinet directors, you're in charge of this, right? You're in charge of this.
And what are you doing?
I am on the lean steering committee, and we talked about this in one show previously, because here you have an implementation plan and timelines, where we talk about establish lean mentorship program pairing cabinet directors with local lean leaders by May 2015. Well, we're a little bit late, but we're coming out now in October, because this strengths thing, finding out the strengths of our cabinet directors.
Why are you late with a lean initiative deadline? That's not good.
No, it's not good. But we're I'm trying to wipe off the tape.
So the project to be lean and efficient is 5 months late in meeting its first major deadline.
We've been working on it every day. It's 5 months late. Yeah, I'll give you that. It's bad. Yeah, it's 5 months late.
All right, better late than never.
Better late than never.
Someone said that once.
Yeah, and it's not for, and it's been pretty profound for me, Dan, working within, you know, the auspice of getting this done statewide, you know, with all the cabinet directors. Is, man, there are a lot of moving pieces. It's not like private industry where I say, we're going to do this, guys, let's press on. So
you're having a big seminar workshop coming up here?
We're having a workshop on Friday before the event, and we're going to be out at TACO down in Cranston.
At John White's place.
John White's place. We're going to use one of his learning centers. We're going to bring in resources. It's from 1 p.m. until 4:30 p.m. We're going to try and start pairing up people with mentors. We're going to talk about leadership. We're going to listen to report outs of the lean initiatives that have been going on. Over 350 public workers have been trained in lean initiatives. What have you been doing with it now? So we're going to have report outs, and the report outs are probably going to be every quarter.
All right.
Yeah.
Bottom line, you want the place to be more efficient.
Yeah, of course. Reduce the waste, eliminate bottlenecks.
Well, guess what? That's what the people want.
Yeah.
And we'll talk about that some more when we come back. And this 38 Studios thing. Stay with us.
There is an ongoing criminal investigation. It has been, continues to be active. We are looking at what was released recently by order of Judge Silverstein, in order of, by the way, which I supported the release of those documents. We will compare them to what we have, but at this point in time, I will say I don't think there was any great surprise in what was released to us.
An attorney general who should have excused himself for the entire process of reviewing 38 Studios, more or less predictive that the deposition information that has been released in this civil litigation saga is no surprise to him. Pathetic. But that's not why I want your commentary, Mr. Wadensten. You're the only Economic Development Corporation board member who voted no. You're the one vote on 38 Studios no, and you've been participating in depositions for a long time, yes?
Yeah, 604 pages.
You are 604 pages.
604 pages.
Have you read your own depositions?
Oh, you bet.
Have you?
Oh, you bet.
Did you surprise yourself?
No, but I asked them for corrections and clarifications.
I say that because sometimes you forget even what you say in these long depositions. The line of questioning that came to you was from the defendant's lawyers, correct? Who are looking to poke holes in the EDC's process.
Correct.
EDC's process to take the liability off of them and put it back on the EDC.
Correct.
And the EDC is suing these defendants, and the EDC was suing two of their executives who have already settled. And so it's hard for people to keep score on this. But since the document dropped, your depositions and everybody's, what is your executive summary on what you are you surprised about the totality of this process and what we're learning from this? Is there something? The Attorney General is not surprised by anything, but are you surprised?
Well, for the people that are listening out there, and I know that the defense guys are listening, there's two tracks to this. You have the civil law case, which we're still in the process of litigating right now. And the civil law case, Dan, basically states that we hired these people as resident experts and we didn't get all the information at the board. Because as you look at the information in hindsight, I don't think there's any one reasonable person on that board that would have said, no way in hell, let's move on to the next topic.
Well, let me ask you this.
Yeah.
You voted no.
Yes.
Give me the 15 seconds on why you voted no to remind everybody.
Remember, I'm just the guy that's looking at $75 million and what $75 million would have done for our state at that point in time, and seeing a company that was pre-revenue, seeing the economy, what we had going on there, and betting on one deal and saying it's just too much money.
Okay.
And I just didn't feel comfortable.
Thank you for that vote.
Yeah.
But even you didn't ask for the financials of Kurt Schilling's company, and the entire board made a decision on this thing without them.
Well, remember,
that's what we learned from the depositions.
When you have a board, we come in as a board to hopefully have the best and brightest information and most accurate information from the people that we hire, right, to do this, and from the people that work there.
I don't accept that.
Yeah. Well, you know what? Thank God I voted no, because now you're sounding like one of the people that deposed me, and I'm saying you're talking to the guy that said no to begin with, and if there had been even 7 other votes where the majority would have ruled, we wouldn't have this discussion.
If we'd had those financials, you would have been able to say, see?
Oh.
See what I told you?
Oh. And it's
But I'm surprised that you didn't make a stink over not having those financials. You trusted the paid executives to do their job. I get it, but the truth is that a board is there to oversee the good work of the paid executives. How about, in Alvarecchia, one of the most prominent guys and smartest guys in business we have around here, says, we never asked for them. We trusted our paid employees, and everybody else did the same. Yeah. That is a process learning lesson that I hope we never have to go through again.
Well, I'll tell you what, anybody that sat on that board, including myself, and I'm still on the Commerce Board, believe me, the first thing I'm asking for is, what's the solvency, and let me see some financials on this organization. First thing I'm going to ask for. I want to see it myself. Right.
Do you believe as a citizen and a member of the Commerce Board, like I do, that we need full subpoena-powered hearings out of our General Assembly, and that the governor, who I know you're bullish on, ought to hold her campaign promise and actually go an independent route and do a complete audit, no holds barred, of this whole process?
So remember, I started this segment with you talking there are 2 tracks here. The one track is the civil case that's ongoing, and we're focused in on a very, very, very small piece of this case, right? Very small piece with all these documents. And the second piece of this case is the public outrage, the public sentiment, some of the things that came out during these depositions and during these subpoenas that would make anybody just want to vomit and say, are you all right? You really thought you were going to do something like this? So that's the second piece.
Is that an answer to my question?
No, I'm going to give you the answer to your question now.
Well, hold on. You know what? I got to take a break.
All right.
Hold your breath. We'll get the answer to the question when we come back. Stay with us.
Frequently when someone comes forth with a new idea, say, oh, well, we can't do that because of 38 studios. Oh, that's another 38 studios. We can't do that.
All due respect, Governor, until we have an enema, we can't just wish it away. So that's my point. But everyone was waiting for your answer, Mr. Wadensten, the only guy to vote no on 38 studios way back when it mattered, and who's had 608 pages of depositions.
604.
604.
Yeah.
So what is the answer to the question? Do we need her to hold her campaign promise and do an independent audit of the situation? And do we need the General Assembly to police itself with subpoena power and get to the bottom of the evil, not just the learning process? Yes or no?
I say yes. I say yes. And it's a two-part yes. Because if we do this and we get clarity on this for the public, which I am one of the public, you can't keep reminiscing on this. You have to say, we're not going to do that same thing. We need to learn from this. And don't keep going on about 38 studios after you get some clarity for whatever the second track of the interpersonal relationships
so let's
and the
define clarity.
mischievousness.
We got to hang some people, figuratively, of course.
Oh.
Some people got to pay for this with careers, jail sentences, fines, something that in our culture of penalty we understand. We have to be able to say, here were the totality of the bad guys, here were the dummies, and here are the smart people who can figure out how we're never going to do this again. That's what we need. And unless and until we get that, it's not just about saying, oh, well, loan guarantee programs, never more. It's about going in and finding the villains, naming them, and what they did to become villains. And that's not me trying to create ratings and drama. That's what everyone out there wants.
Yeah,
and needs.
Yeah, and you weren't in Rhode Island during the banking crisis, were you?
No.
You know, the banking crisis with our former governor that just passed away.
That would be Bruce Sunland.
Bruce Sunland. I mean, he had a very positive, you know what, we're finding out what goes on. It didn't help the people that lost money.
No.
Did not help them one iota. But he took a really proactive stance on it. We need to do it in the state, and you need to have this. And Dan, I sent you an article, too, about Florida, that this kind of thing is going on in other states across the country, that people are investing into things without some real good clarity, and then you have this subcultural thing going on of people trying to benefit potentially. So
nobody trusts anybody right now.
No.
Governor's got a truck toll program. Nobody trusts that it's going to work. Pawtucket Red Sox might have come into Providence. Nobody trusted the deal would be good. We have a trust program.
Well, trust problem. Trust problem. Well, the way that you address a trust problem is you hit it head on. You got to hit it head on. You got to have some clarity for the people. And
well, I hope your nice little Leadership Rhode Island Saturday, October 24th thing will address the trust problem. I hope your lean seminar will address the trust problem.
Well, remember, trust in lean, in our operational excellence of lean, is making things simple, transparent, and clear. We have too complex a system now. How the heck can you trust a system that's too complex with bad outcomes?
All right. Come back after the events, will you?
I will.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Be right back. I think Carla gave us a lot to think about there. If you've got a reaction, your state of mind is important to me here. Just give us a voicemail. Love that. Love to hear your voice. 228-1886, stateofmind@myiTV.com, Facebook posts, of course, and tweet posts, Twitter, you know. Anyway, rumor is our former governor was on the stage tonight at a CNN debate for this thing called the presidency. We'll talk about it with the PC professor Joe Camarano tomorrow night right here. And I'll see you on the radio talking about it at noon on WPRO. Bye-bye.